So, you wanna be an author? Well, let me give you a ramble of my reasoning here. I need an absolute miracle regarding very tailor-made housing because I'm really insane. People have no understanding how paranoid, schizophrenic, borderline personality. I believe it's all spiritual. I believe I contain way too many entities, and I cannot live with anyone. I am so certified. I've been in hospital, psychiatric wards over 20 times, and and I hid from myself, and then from everyone until age 57 that I was absolutely filled with way too many beings, which explained a lot why I could never be in school, blah, blah, blah. Don't have a GED. But I know because they have tried to place me endlessly, I can't live with anyone. If I loved anyone, I wouldn't let them live with me. And my own daughter, who you have no comprehension of her sacrificial yet utter, admirable love for me, but she couldn't live with me. That's okay. I just need to find this little square box that won't let any insects in and will be heated and cooled and hopefully within the forest of sorts, back away from people, few groovy neighbors, and everyone's cool with this. But we live in capitalism. Now, I'm a squatter. I owe $2,500 already because the original owner, for the duration of him owning this place, had arranged everything. It's magically absorbed everything. Thus, even though I had an esophagus perforation over 2 months in Cooper Hospital, I was told by 4 professionals, one, the very doctor who operated on me 3 times, I should be dead. But he cried in my arms and said, "You have something to do." Wonderful social worker said the same because I've been on suicide watch and lots of bugazoo. So that wasn't good. And my daughter died, and that wasn't good. And I've had lots of psychiatric problems with neighbors, and that isn't good. And now I owe 20 because now he had sold it. And anyway, I'm still here. And I get a bill, $2,500. Oh my God. Anyway, it's very bad. So I just need someone that's a good Samaritan. Says, "Hey, this is groovy. We can do this." But they probably can't. But they have something that they built some form of a garage, turned it into a room for an extended family member, or potential, whatever. Extra income, I guess. But they're just so groovy. I smoke weed, I smoke cigarettes. But I just need a box that has a toilet in it. I just need kind of a glorified cell. And it's got its own toilet. Might not be a place anyone could come into, but I would hope that there'd be enough, even if it's an open toilet. I have a microwave and a refrigerator and a place for a little bit of storage and a bed. As I said, my daughter bought it for me before she died of cancer. She's taking care of me dying of cancer. But anyway, then I had a heart attack. I'm 65. And yet I've been compared to John Nash in the movie A Beautiful Mind, and Patch Adams of I guess you would say Hunter Patch Adams of the movie Robin Williams played. And so I'm an enigma. I'm just, my daughter said I was an enigma. I didn't even know what she meant. She said, Daddy, it's something, and her favorite name for me was Forrest Gump. And here's the enigma. She said, Daddy, an enigma is something that shouldn't exist, really can't exist, yet exists. She goes, that's you, Daddy. And so anyway, I have this passion and loneliness. So here's my problem. I get $8.45 a month. I cannot live on that. I cannot live on that. A, I get food stamps. B, I get Meals on Wheels. I can't get around at all anymore. I've, um, I'm going to be getting injections for inoperable acute arthritis in my spine and lower back. I'm on endless medications between heart and esophagus. Blah blah blah. So I can't live on $8.45 a month. I only shop at Dollar Tree. I'm on socialized medicine in the sense I pay for no medication, but I do buy about $200 a month of very nurse approved, meaning the greatest nurse I ever had, Stacy Gilchrist. She looked at everything. She only the person that she said, "No, I really want to see everything." She took out her notepad and wrote this like, "Oh, this is good." Yeah, no, like for herself or someone else. It's just very positive. It costs money when you really go super holistic. And but anyway, I'm rambling as I always do. The issue is I can't live on $8.45 a month. With the fact that I get every penny that could benefit that could exist, um, and but I can't. So, but I'm trying to find a good Samaritan. They don't exist. No one's got a spot that said, "Hey, we believe in your vision and mission." To end loneliness. Please Google. Please, please, please Google Drew DREW Horn HORN 2013 VOICE Voice Award Acceptance Speech. 8 minutes and 3 seconds. I won 12 awards. That was my last. I asked 4 people, including my own daughter. No one would go. I think they were hoping to snap me out of it. So I misled everyone that I was just bipolar, but I wasn't. And my illness caught up with me. Anyway, and then I've been running and insane, and I've always been, but lots of bouts of homelessness and hospitalizations of psychiatric forms and all this bother. But anyway, the vision, the passion doesn't leave me. I founded an organization 2001, August 1st. TurnAFrownAround.org. That is why I won 12 awards. And our vision statement at that time was to end all loneliness. And my mission statement was to set up a smile station in every city across the nation, nation to nation, ending loneliness, one true, non-judgmental, uplifting, unconditionally loving friend at a time. So, it didn't work, even though everyone thought it worked. I'm winning awards. I'm flown to Russia. Patch Adams, real Patch Adams, mentored me for 2.5 to 3 years. He'd write me, I'd write him. He'd write me, I'd write him. Somebody raised $3,500. I was flown to the Netherlands. They wanted to. It's just they did a national TV. Maybe all their TV is national. I don't know, but the point is a 7-minute documentary for all that money and effort. They were just taken because I was billed in New Jersey, some of the nursing homes, as Dr. Hugs. But anyway, I'm batshit crazy. But nevertheless, that's the enigma, I guess. So I never did the job. Never. So we got to get done. We got to do a search and rescue starting in America, 'cause that's where I live. South Jersey, that's where I live. We're going to do a search and rescue of every institution of isolation, nursing homes, psychiatric wards, jails, homeless shelters, anything for abused children, The Endless Eleanor Rigby's that the Beatles sang about. You should hear that song. You should. And it's 2 minutes plus. But all of the shut-ins, and everyone is lonely. They need someone to love them and care about them with no agenda, not to join anything, no money, no legal. That's my biggest concern. We gotta take a risk on love. Everyone goes to war and for hate, and we just gotta go. Listen, no one's suing anybody. This won't be perfect, but I promise you, the casualties of love will be much minimal to all the casualties of hate and war and guns and people on people, neighbor against neighbor, all this. Everyone gets an action. We just need it needs to be these endless volunteer firefighters of loneliness. So everyone hooks up with one person and they make sure we have an app so that and people have different burdens on their heart. I'm just glad they're willing to help out. If they're getting their feet wet, they want to go to a nursing home. If they have a lot of empathy, they're jumping in psychiatric wards and jails. Doesn't matter. It can be organized. They're sending out coronavirus checks. President signs it, bing, bong, boom, they're going out. Every American in the world. I mean, every American in America. Holy cock-a-zippy doppa-doople. That's ridiculous. So let's use this internet, do a search and rescue, find the lonely people, and we need to have what I call a friendathon, which is like the Jerry Lewis telethon. And no money. We're just getting friends. I need a core group to start this off that probably have to have some money, but it's just the beginning. And they would donate everything just because they're like on Bill Gates' perspective. They just, this would be like, oh my gosh. Suppose we just aggressively go after, it's such an uphill battle to fight for climate change, but everyone knows people that are lonely. They might have put their head in the sand and turn their heart off and become the Grinch because their lives are so busy. But there's unconditional love in everyone. You just need to slow down, pump it up. So you start with one person. You just go once a week. No agenda. And expect them to be nasty for a while. No one says they won't believe this. They're waiting for this just to be a bunch of BS. But all of a sudden they go, wow, you got 40% in your battery, they got 3. You go every week, all of a sudden friendship grows. You agree on things, you don't agree on things, but they know one thing. This guy loves me. This guy cares about me. This woman cares about me. This guy, whatever. And that's it. And all of a sudden, their lives are more wow. Because you're attaching your energy to theirs. You get to know each other. You learn from each other. You don't go like, I'm helping out the poor and lonely. What? We're all poor and lonely in many ways. So the reality is many people that I'm begging to do this are poor and lonely. But I used to say with turn and frown around, hey, don't forget your vitamin pill for friendship. What's that? Screwy Drewy. Vitamin B1. That's right. That's a vitamin for friendship. B1. Anyway, this is not complicated, but it's so bizarrely necessary. Get all your studies. I've been home. I know what I'm talking about. Anyway, I was born fine china. Everything bothers me. I'm a very miserable person. But nevertheless, so, this is going back to this appeal. So what I need, but in my world, that's the next step. But I need an immediate step. So, I'm hoping someone will have this type of specialized housing. And I'm groovy, hanging out with animals, but capitalism. Proverbs says, your gift will open the door for you, I think it says. And there's only one thing yet I've been confirmed about from very early on. I should write. Right, right, right. I go on for just too many. But most recently, the best friend I've ever had in my entire life, that's really a friend that sticks closer than a brother, who said twice to me, Herman has said, you know, basically he said, you should write a book. And Pastor Ken, who, like, wow, like, I can't believe this man pays attention to me. This man's in another league and a much purer soul. He said, you know, Avi, you should write a book. So, two confirmations, I guess, or whatever that is. And so, I'm begging someone that they can put me up for a period of time. I don't know how. I have to reach out to a lawyer. I need to get out of here ASAP. They're just going to keep. I can't pay these people money. And my father brought me up to be ethical. He died in my arms. He was a kind. Never yelled at me. He always knew I was weird and always loved me. He compensated for that. So my mother was mentally ill, like I am. We're not going on this now. The issue is that, and I was molested for 2 years. Like I really had a. It's bad. My mother remarried, and she was insane, and no one wanted this new man, and he was 9 years younger, and oh my God! And I ran away from home from all of that, and I couldn't. Going to school just reminded me you're stupid, willful, whatever they thought I was. No one wanted to be my friend. I didn't want to be with them. I was insane. Anyway, I just need a spot, and I'm going to write a book. It doesn't matter. I'm just going to write a book. And that will ultimately be able, because as long as it doesn't affect my SSI, which it's the 45-25 of SSI I'm not concerned about. But I get universal health care. I pay for nothing. So, as long as Social Security, because most of my money, $800, is from Social Security. I didn't even know I had such a work history for that, but that's all right. And I couldn't. I was astounded when I called them one time, and I got a thing, and I said, "Is this true?" And then I had another episode where I got sick or almost died or whatever it was. But I couldn't believe it. Like, I could earn a lot of money. On the SSI, I was never allowed to earn money. So, I'm assuming, I'm not with a therapist right now, but she promised me by mid-March I would get a new one. She got a promotion. So, I'm sure with therapists, and there's a sensitivity for mental health now more than ever, that they could say, listen, you know, this guy's incapacitated, but he can work from home, and he's going to write a book, and he's going to publish it, and he's going to earn money from that. And I think I could earn, like, for me, it's always been so poor, at least, you know, I won't go into all that, the insanity of my life. But the issue is I've always had to scrounge, and so what I don't know what it was. I'm going to say it was $20,000 I could earn with tax-free and whatever. That was like, wow. So that would mean that I probably could, you know, if this thing is successful, moves pretty fast. The person can't be hungry for money, but I'm glad to pay my way. I'm going to have to get a lawyer about absolving what's going on here. I need to get out. But I'm very in earnest. And what I realize is that this book will open the door for the podcast, the Friend-a-thon. I just know it, because that's the way it works in America. It's kind of like you got to throw it out there in a book. So it's whatever. I mean, no matter how I'm not looking for to be popular. I'm looking to end loneliness. And so I know if I write a book and it gets on the bestseller list somewhere, we just need to be. I just need people to go, oh, wow, in whatever circle that is, because what I'm doing is universal. I want to find lonely people, get them friends. Lonely people, get them friends. I used to entertain, all that. So that'll work for a podcast. But if I'm the Jerry Lewis, I need a whole army of ants. I don't like armies. I need a colony of ants. Just do lots of, just everyone doing a little. But ultimately, the thing runs itself. We have an app. People know where the closest institution of isolation, what type it is, close to them. Boom, boom, boom. But I need to write a book. And so, if you'll give me a spot, I'll write a book. And so, off the top of my head, that's the lead in to the book. And hoping someone will go, you know what, we'll help you. We really will. This is beautiful. Because it is. I'm an evil, horrible person with this. And I'll write about how that's impossible. But I used to say, when I was in kindergarten or first grade, true story, Mrs. Horak put down the thing for everyone. I guess I had the same one. And you had to circle what didn't belong and color in everything that was the same. It was a playground. So you're coloring in the merry-go-round, the slide, the swing. And there was a live rhinoceros on mine. So I circled the live rhinoceros. I was right. I was very happy. Guess what? My goodness, this concept to end loneliness is a live rhinoceros. It's not... But anyway, it'll be in the book. Anyway, here's my joke. If you do like to read, you should hang around me. I get all my books free. The judge throws them at me. Oh, get rid of this guy. Hey. All right. 14 chapters for a personal reason right now. It's got to be 14 chapters. Not in any order. Chapter, one of the chapters. My daughter's final words. Follow love, Daddy. That's the chapter. Why turn a frown around.org didn't work. That's a chapter. By the way, I ran that for 11 years, 7 months, and 4 days, won 12 awards, was voted by Eli Lilly, the pharmaceutical company, in 2010, the most influential person in America with a mental illness. They gave us $10,000. Wow. But anyway, it was polluted. I'll talk about it. That's another chapter. The absurdity of the polarization of my family ancestry. We might have to shorten that. That's 3, because a snippet, my great-grandfather on my mother's side was ridiculously rich, wealthy, like bizarro. My own dad was an immigrant son who lived above a liquor store that his dad ran on a highway, who was so religious because his grandfather was a rabbi from the other country. Whereas my great grandfather and grandfather on my mother's side made like bizarre abundance from taverns. Very bizarre. My dad loved God. But never was religious. Okay. Number 4. Every religion agrees on the Null. Nuul. What I want to do, because religion is my hobby, I'm assuming because of my great-grandfather and the the spiritual confliction I live in. I forgot what I was writing about. Okay. Anyway, so I have a character called EM, Ecumenical Man. And I point out that the worst place to be in the battlefield is in the center. And every religion will hate me ultimately because I won't adhere to their exact doctrine. And everyone knows that their doctrine is the only way. I have no problem with any of that, which I'll explore in the book. But all I want to do is go, hey, no matter what religious background someone is, if your house is on fire, you don't care. Could you put out the fire? My family's going to die. So there's a fire of loneliness and companionship, and all the religions agree you're supposed to visit the orphaned. Orphan means forgotten one. They all believe that. It's just like, anyway, I won't go through that. The issue is, there's a place we can agree. So let's just do that. It's a human thing. You know, people need water, etc. Okay, another chapter. Espionage. How I hid being paranoid schizophrenic for 57 years. And I knew at 6. My imaginary friends never left me. Alright, let's see if we can speed this up. Number 7. A lot is covered in that, my daughter's statement, because there are only 5 people in my life that showed me non-judgmental, uplifting, unconditional love. But that would be under that. And I can tell you that when I ran away from home till this minute, I've been in search of non-judgmental, uplifting, unconditional love. So I want to go through that. I do tell people that the only thing that's ever saved me on the streets is Shreks. I'm a jackass. I'm totally vulnerable. I'm a declawed cat. It's very scary. I've been in one fight in my life, and that's because I was bullied and I got the crap beat out of me. Anyway. I hope to come up with better titles than even what I'm saying. must radicalize mental health. Mental health has so many billions and billions of dollars now. And I'm telling you, it's a machine. It's almost like run by AIs for very broken AIs. There's no compassion. It needs to be gutted and redone. I spent my life. No one will remember this joke. I mean, you had to be over 50 to get this. But when I did turn the frown around, I was the president of Turn the Frown Around. So I used to have an opening joke, and I used to say, "Hey, I'm." Like, there used to be a commercial for the hair club for men, and the guy owned this thing to make wigs for men. And so, at the very end of pitching the incredible wigs, he turns around in his chair with one of the wigs on and says, "I'm not only the president, I'm a client too." I started my shows that way. And I fought in Trenton. I have the credentials to say what I just did. We desperately need a sensitivity test. We got to weed out 75%. This is not good. Things need to be run like the movie A Miracle Worker with Anne Bancroft and Patty Duke. Anyway, I think that's 7. Let me stop there because 32 minutes. But there'll be 14 chapters, and of course, I guess let me just stop on 8 here. Like, Friendathon. I want to lay out, this is a book for propaganda for the most important. Dr. Patch Adams said loneliness is the largest, most curable world epidemic. Loneliness is the world's largest and most curable world epidemic. I couldn't agree more. I believe that before I was so fortunate to have Dr. Patch Adams in my life. The issue is that, so, I'm going to do it right this time. It's going to be 20% meringue, 80% pie, and we're going to end loneliness. We're going to get crazy about something that is so simple, and it will work. And you want to unify America? I promise you, everyone knows what it is to have someone they really love die alone, or they know of someone. They just know it. I heard it all the time. I did shows for endless different types of populaces. I mean that. And everyone, whether I was in a bar, recruiting for forever friends, or some high-class church luncheon, I am telling you, people always come up afterwards and go, "You're right. I had so-and-so that never got, I had an aunt, yeah, you're right, man. Yeah, I just buried my dad, and I couldn't believe how many people in the nursing home never got visited." They'd all say it. So there's a universal thing that needs to be done. And everyone cares about it in a weird way. That's why I say there's compassion in everyone. It might be very limited, very jaded, but it's there. We just need to pump it up. All right. That's it. 34. So, that's my appeal. My appeal. I am bananas, you know. Banana, banana.